everyone! Thank you so much for joining me for another Women Crush Wednesday. Today we're going to talk about 5 very cool facts about Dorothy Dandridge, who was a singer, actress, dancer during the golden age of Hollywood. Fact number 1. Dorothy was actually part of a group that her mother, Ruby, created. It was she and her sister, Vivian, and they ended up touring the southern U.S. for 5 years. This was called the Wonder Children. Dorothy was born in 1922, and so when she moved to Hollywood with her sister and her mother, at the age of 12, it was 1934, which was just after the Great Depression. The Wonder Sisters were eventually renamed to the Dandridge Sisters once they moved to Hollywood, and their schoolmate, Etta James, actually joined them, so it was the 3 of them. They toured around the U.S. and ended up booking the Cotton Club and the Apollo Theater in New York during their theatrical run. Dorothy started appearing in films at the age of 18 in 1940, but she really didn't make a huge impact until her portrayal in 1951 for the film Tarzan's Peril. Her role was as Queen Melmendi, and it really grabbed the attention because it had a lot of blunt sexuality and a lot of provocatively revealing clothing, which was definitely not something that was standard during that time. This role got her the 1951 cover of Ebony magazine, which definitely launched her career. Fact number 2. Dandridge was actually the first Black American to be nominated for Best Actress in 1954 for her role in Carmen Jones. Unfortunately, she ended up losing to Grace Kelly, who I must admit is one of my personal favorites. Grace Kelly won for her performance in The Country Girl. Dorothy was the first non-white actress to achieve a high level of stardom that was shared with Marilyn Monroe and Ava Gardner, and she was treated like royalty whenever she traveled around the world. Fact number 3. In 1957, Dorothy Dandridge and Maureen O'Hare were the only actresses who were willing to stand up against Confidential magazine in court for libel. This magazine had made outrageous claims in which it said that O'Hara was having sex in the Grauman's Chinese Theater and that Dorothy Dandridge was having an affair with a white band leader during a trip to Lake Tahoe. The judge ended up ruling in favor of Dandridge and Maureen O'Hara. The women in this case ended up being really important because they were largely responsible for shutting down tabloid journalism until 1971 when the National Enquirer was founded. Fact number 4. Unfortunately, Dorothy ended up suffering racism throughout her career, and even after her Oscar nomination, she really struggled to find roles. A very sad story about racism during this time was that once she was in Las Vegas and she was supposed to be performing at a specific hotel, and the hotel ended up preemptively draining the pools so that she wouldn't be allowed to swim in them. She really grew to hate performing at nightclubs. She was forbidden to speak to the audience, and she very often had to use janitors' closets as dressing rooms. But of course, she had to pay the bills, so she continued performing at nightclubs throughout her career. Belafonte is known to have said that she really was the right person in the right place at the wrong time. In 1959, she did manage to land another very important role in the film Porgy and Bess, where she starred opposite Sidney Poitier. Fact number 5. Unfortunately, Dandridge was found dead at the age of 43 on September 8th by her manager, Earl Mills. She died due to an overdose of antidepressants. Unfortunately, she only had $2 in her bank account at the time, and she was in severe financial straits because she was trying to take care of her mentally disabled daughter, who required 24-hour care. It took Hollywood a really long time to acknowledge her legacy, of course, but today she is memorialized in the Four Ladies of Hollywood Memorial on the very western corner of the Walk of Fame, along with Dolores Del Rio, Anna Mae Wong, and Mae West. Halle Berry, who is also from Ohio, ended up playing Dandridge in the HBO movie Introducing Dorothy Dandridge, for which she won an Emmy, a Golden Globe, and a SAG Award. When Berry won her Best Actress Oscar, she ended up dedicating this Oscar to Dorothy Dandridge, Lena Horne, and Diana Carroll. Thank you so much for joining me for another Women Crush Wednesday to learn 5 facts all about Dorothy Dandridge and the very important impact that she had on the entertainment industry.